Have you ever logged onto your PC and just thought, man, I would love to projectile vomit all over the place? Now let me stop you right there. Us over at Non-VR Games and VR would love to help your dreams come true. With a starter plan of only $8,000 a month, you can get the only slightly vomit everywhere package. But wait, this just in, if you call now, we'll throw in the shit and cum package for free. VR games are already hard to make. It's a completely different format of entertainment where the small details are the most noticeable. For instance, I can throw a crowbar at this guy's head in Boneworks, but I can't do that in Skyrim. Todd Howard, you've let me down again! Not all the games I'll be mentioning are bad or make me feel sick, but we could talk about it, you know. Just what if I, like, I don't know, gave you a kiss on the cheek afterwards? It's just a thought. For this video, I want to talk about a few games, starting with,
I don't know what this is, but it's kind of hot.
Half-Life did this super cool thing called become my favorite game years after its release, so I feel old as shit whenever I talk about it. But recently, a mod came out to release the game in VR, so let's check that out today. Oh, wait, hold on. Just gonna crop this here, and alright, perfect, let's hop into it. If you're a little peasant boy who could afford a VR headset and a PC to run it, but oops, you're poor now and can't buy Half-Life Alyx, then you should go watch my complete story on it, thank you. Half-Life 2 VR is exactly what it sounds like. Okay, I guess I'll go further in depth. Half-Life 2 VR is a prime example of a team of developers actually giving us what these conglomerate bozos can. It plays well, it feels like a standard game just in VR. Man, I don't really have anything to complain, I guess we could just move on to the next. Again, call now for the shit and cum package. You see, there's a reason why most VR games don't include vehicles, or if they do include them, there's a likely chance you're not in control. Even Bone Lab's go-kart doesn't feel that great to use, and it's probably one of the better VR vehicles you can actually drive. So when I get into this airboat, which is required to get through this chapter, it feels like Gabe Newell is reaching into my stomach to check out what I ate for lunch that day. I'm not trying to hate on the team that built this mod. Making the original Source engine run well in VR is like trying to summon Santa Claus with black magic, but overall, the rest of this game isn't too bad.
What's going on with you? What are you talking about?
Don't mention it, don't mention it, don't mention it, don't mention it. Minecraft is a mid-game in VR. Keyword there, in VR, because obviously everyone can kinda enjoy Minecraft to a certain extent. But I don't think we realize how much camera movement goes on here, because trying to do anything in Minecraft VR makes me feel like a goddamn frozen burrito in a microwave just spinning around. Again, I'm not trying to hate on the development team who made this mod. If you think running Source in VR is a technical feat, just wait till you get Java to do it. But overall, Minecraft VR is probably an hour of fun if you really try and play it. Sure, it's not as great as Cube, but there's a likely chance if you're already on PC, you probably have Minecraft, so throw a fucking BOGO in my contract. Obviously, movement is pretty standard for VR, but where things really fall flat is when you start mining. You walk up to a block and you're like, hey block, I want to mine you, and the block is like, and you're like, what the fuck? So you start mining it, and normally in VR games, you're the one to do things. So naturally, you try to swing with your arms, and you start no-clipping through the block. Is this fucking Garry's mod? Like, what the? I can kind of get behind clipping through things in shooting games because there's a good chance I'm not sticking my head or my gun through a wall or surface. But when the integral part of your game involves swinging something at a surface, I'd want it to react towards that environment. And I understand making this work in Java is one, already hard as shit, and two, I know these dudes cannot be making that much money from this mod.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
Throwing away the whole contract from earlier, do you ever just log onto your computer, boot up VR, and decide, hey, I want to have a seizure? Risk of Rain 2 already has a bunch of things going on all at once, and another thing Risk of Rain 2 has going on is a lot of vertical movement. So as you would imagine, playing in VR, it's not great. I'm going to warn you now, if you're prone to getting sick in VR, don't try this mod. This mod makes Boneworks level of interaction look like a fucking daycare. But if you're a Giga Chad, Noel Diesel looking ass with an iron stomach, then go ahead. Risk of Rain 2 VR is actually executed really well. Functioning scopes, movement isn't turned down at all. It really does feel like what you would imagine Risk of Rain 2 in VR to be. Of course, once we get to the later levels, I feel like I'm in a goddamn Brazzers video with how many things are flying at me all at once. Imagine trying to beat this game on the hardest difficulty in VR. Imagine trying to beat this game on the hardest difficulty not in VR. I don't have to imagine it since my friend Nekru, or Josh if you watch the Index videos, is beating the game on Eclipse 8 in his next video. Go sub to Josh. Okay, thanks, bye.
Fuck, this is not right. This is not cool.
Garry's Mod VR is like trying to enjoy your favorite game, but you have a fly in your room constantly nagging you, but instead of a fly, it's a 6-foot cable running down your neck. For me, Garry's Mod is a simple game. Join a server with some friends, play prop hunt, get off, forget about Garry's Mod entirely for 6 months, and repeat. But trying to do anything for long periods of time in Gmod VR is like asking your teacher for help and she just says, fuck you, piece of shit, what do you think this is, a handout? Get out of here, go pick your fucking nose, bozo. While in VR, it does have potential to be great, but for long-term play sessions, it just falls flat. Especially when you're like me in the sandbox and just put jets on cars to see how fast you're going, and become that one giant from the anime I didn't watch.
Yeah, boy.
Now obviously I can't cover every game that has ever gotten a VR mod in this video, because you can technically play any game in VR if you purchase a program known as Warp X, but unless you're really into Whiplash, I wouldn't recommend it, considering it's not a full 6 DoF experience and you're stuck either using keyboard and mouse or controller for the movement. If you really want to play CSGO with your head as your mouse movement, then don't let me stop you.